went looking around for the garden hose, and so I'm just giggling so hard, I just couldn't stop giggling. So I finally went over and turned it on for him. And he's got his tongue out, and he's doing this, and it just makes it worse. It really does. You really have to have milk to really do anything. Because it just doesn't do anything. So, give you temporary relief, and that hose has been sitting out in the sun, so it ain't, it's just warm water.
Yeah.
So he's, you know, and his wife goes, he's a moron. I go, well, you married him. I'm taking this. I didn't say it, but yeah. I pretty much knew what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I've had other people do the same thing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you can't tell people it's going to be hot because they, you know, especially when they're from Mexico, they can. They think they know what hot is, but you know, I knew. I had cooked some of it up, made some fajitas, and so I cut it up, de-seeded it, cut it up by a little bit, and I had my glasses on.
Oh yeah.
Even my hands, I didn't have gloves on, but I wasn't worried too much about my hands. I just didn't want to get into. I didn't have any open sores. But you don't want to get the juice, and you don't want to get the seeds. Eat the seeds.
Yeah.
But boy, I tell you what, this boy just picked one up. I washed it off for him, handed it to him, and he just bit into it like he was biting into a cherry.
Yeah.
I tell you what, and this boy do a dance. But that's what I enjoy working with the organic gardener. She was really smart. We slept there overnight one night because we were having pests. We couldn't figure out what it was. I said it's probably raccoons because they have a lot of animals in Broomfield that will come out and just knock your garden down. They're eating corn. We had the netting over the strawberries, so they weren't really getting into the strawberries. It was just they were getting into the corn later in the season. So sure enough, come sundown.
Yeah.
Here they come.
Yeah.
And so we got out there with a flashlight and run them off. And we just slept out there the next night. And then a couple people stopped by and said hi to us. The cops come by and said hi to us. And we just told them, we actually run the garden. We're going to be there in the morning. We introduced ourselves and just didn't know us. And we said, yeah, we work with the church next door. We go out here and work in the garden. So yeah, we've seen you before because that cop shop was like right there. You can see the cop shop from there. They're right there next to the tennis courts. And yeah, somebody called it in and it sells your flashlight. Oh, really? Yeah. So, yeah, they saw your flashlight. And wonder why there's people sleeping out here in the garden. Yeah. And I said, yeah, we had some coons out here eating this corn and we wanted to figure out what it was. And, you know, there really isn't much you can do with coons except run them off. So, yeah, all you're going to do is feed them until they're done. Yeah. I said, yeah, until this corn's harvested, they're just going to eat as much as they want.
So how did you get involved with that garden? What made you decide to?
I spoke, interviewed with the gentleman that was running the program for the homeless, and Dave and I hit it off. So he told me about the garden. I met the gardener, and she and I hit it off. So I just said, yeah, if I got some free time, I'd come over here and do it. And it was real close. I was living in Broomfield and working down here in Denver. Just riding my bike on the bike trail, and it was literally between me and 2 miles living in the on the bike trail and the library, so it was an easy jaunt. And the bike trail was easy. I could walk or ride the bike. It takes me right there to the garden.
Great. So switching back to the garden you were at last summer, can you tell me about a typical visit to the garden? Sure.
I would get there and I would just examine the garden and see if I need to do any weeding. Mostly when I get there in the morning or in the evenings, it was where I need to water because the plants, being almost 100% exposed to the sun, needs lots of water. So it was always a challenge to make sure it had plenty of water. And then just some of them I could like we had done in the organic garden, they'll French rows. So when you water, the water trickles down to the row. You don't have as much loss. And so I would build rows and build different things, especially around the tomato plants. I would build berms. So when I would water it, it would sort of sit there and soak in as opposed to run off and have a lot of waste, water waste. And so my challenge was just trying to examine ways without building my own irrigation system, figure out ways where I can water in the morning and the evenings and maximize the water usage and minimize the runoff. So, because mine was right on the end where the sidewalk was. So even though there was a common area and then the grass and then the sidewalk, I didn't want any water to run off and be wasted. So that was my challenge. Living here in Colorado, I see water as very very big resource because we impact not only here in Denver, but we impact everyone downstream. Being the headwaters where the Colorado River is. So everything we do here impacts everybody else all the way down to Mexico. So to make sure that Mexico gets water, which they never will. But one day, if we're smart enough, Denver can save enough water by simple things like I was investigating rain barrels. I can't believe how crazy people are in Denver. They have to have rules about rain barrels.
Oh.
Yeah, there's all kinds of rules. So.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to base certain rules about how much water, because each house you can store so much water from rain, but you still have to let some run downstream. You cannot keep 100%.
Oh, okay.
And this is true in every place in the world. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you could create a law that mandates how much water you get when you have property. It seems to me like if a raindrop hits my property, it's my raindrop. But I'm not that crazy. I've owned property here in Colorado. And I've had people try to fight me for the water when they bought some land that came with a provision in there from the realtor. My grandfather sold them this land. There's guys from California. Never lived in the land. There used to be a chicken coop across the way. He bought the chicken coop and built himself a house. But it comes with no water rights. All the water rights stay with not only the property and with me, since I've inherited the property from my grandfather, but there's a river that runs by there. And he constantly puts in, there's a, what is it called, spigot on my side of the property, my side of the river. He'll run, as soon as I leave, he'll run a line back up there and run the garden hose down across the river up to his house so he can flush his toilet and water his lawn. And so whenever I go back out there, people look on me and say, hey, so-and-so is stealing water from me again. And so when we have a sheriff, I call the sheriff and I have a judgment from the judge. He tried to go in front of the water court and say that his property came with water. And I just waited for him to present his information, which was a lie. He's from California. And this guy, I don't know where he got his money from, and I don't really care, but I would just present my information to the judge. And probably the third or fourth line in there from the real estate contract of selling the property, the realtor had him sign, this property comes without water.
Oh, okay.
There is no water in this property. You can sell property in Colorado without water rights.
Oh, okay.
He has no mineral rights, no water rights, none whatsoever. And for me, I understand in Colorado there's an entire water system set up for that. And so you have to deal with him every few years and go to court. He wants to take me to court for toilet water and all that stuff. He knew from the day one, the realtor presented it to him, you need to go truck in water. You want to drink water, you want to flush your toilet, you want to water your lawn. You got to truck it in. He gets started trucking it in. It's expensive. It's expensive to have water delivered. Imagine what it costs to have propane delivered, because we have propane tanks out there. So I go up, that's how I catch it. I go up in the summertime and I collect firewood. I'll cut firewood. I just go into the National Forest office there, pay my $10, they give me a map, and I go up, cut firewood, go in my truck. And I'll go up there, there'd be dumbass, they're trying to rehook his hose up, trying to figure out why I didn't cut. And I'm just sitting there with a note saying, don't do it, dumbass. I just text a note right to his hose and I just cut it because I'm sheriff's told me, you don't even need to unhook it. I said, just cut it. Teach him a lesson. He'll just keep going and buying his hoses. I'll cut his hose every time. I'm sure it told me to.
So, how often did you go to the garden?
The organic one?
Your community garden.
Probably every day.
Every day. Okay. Did that change throughout the season?
No, not really, because the water had to be done, the weeding had to be done, and then harvesting came. So the tasks changed, but I found going twice a day helped out. Watering too much in the morning didn't give it enough, the plants, especially when they get hotter, would wilt. So I needed to maintain the watering both in the morning and the evening. I couldn't let it go one day. I couldn't let it skip. So.
Gotcha.
And then, I just figured, while I'm here, I've got some minutes, I'll weed a little bit. If I need to harvest, I'll harvest, and that way I could let people know, once I harvest, if I can't can anything or cook anything with it, just start handing out vegetables at West